Hi everyone, it's Miss Jan from the Woodlands Children's Museum. Welcome to the at-home version of Shadow Puppet Theater. Shadow puppetry is an ancient art form that we love to do at the museum. It started over 2,000 years ago in China and then in India. So we are going to share a story today with you through shadow puppets. The book is called, and I'm going to actually, this is a hint of what it's about because it's really hard to see this book cover, but it's called This Moose Belongs to Me by Oliver Jeffers. Now, do any of you have a moose as a pet? I don't think so. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see who owns this moose. I have to tell you, when I lived in New Hampshire, Mr. Ron and I were driving up to Maine on the highway, and we had to stop because there was this huge moose who decided to cross the street in front of all the traffic. And he kind of did whatever he wanted to do, and we let him cross. So that's why I'm wondering, who would this moose belong to? Well, we're going to find out today. So I want to first of all say thank you to Mr. Ron, who's my cameraman and my puppeteer today. So hi, Mr. Ron. So everybody get comfortable as we bring you the story, This Moose Belongs to Me. Wilfred owned a moose. He hadn't always owned a moose. The moose came to him a while ago, and he just knew that it was meant to be his. He thought he would call him Marcel. That's a very good moose name. He began following Marcel, explaining the rules of how to be a good pet. Much of the time, it seemed as though the moose wasn't listening. But Wilfred knew he was, mostly because he followed Rule 4 very well. Not making too much noise while Wilfred plays his record collection. So that's rule number 4. Okay. Sometimes the moose wasn't a very good pet. He generally ignored Rule 7, which was going whichever way Wilfred wants to go. I don't think he's following that rule very well. The moose had a very good sense of direction, and Wilfred did not. And because the moose was particularly poor on Rule 7, subsection B, which was maintaining a certain proximity to home, staying close to home, Wilfred quickly learned to bring some string along on their outings so he could find his way back again. Sometimes the moose was an excellent pet. He had no trouble with Rule 11, providing shelter from the rain. Better than an umbrella, I guess. And he had no trouble with Rule 16, knocking down things that are out of Wilfred's reach. Those are apples. Yum, yum, yum. Looks like he's actually eating one of them. One day, as Wilfred discussed their plans for the coming year on a particularly long walk, he made a terrible discovery. Someone else thought she owned the moose. Rodrigo, you're back! Wilfred was dumbstruck. This moose was Marcel, not Roderigo. The old lady was mistaken, and Wilfred thought it only proper that he correct her. "This moose belongs to me," he explained. And to prove it, he called Marcel. "Heel!" But the moose did not respond. He seemed more interested in the old lady and the apple. Embarrassed and enraged, Wilfred rushed off for home. But in his haste and miles from anywhere, he tripped over his string and got tangled up. And there he lay. Wilfred was beginning to get a little bit worried. It was getting late and the monsters would be out soon. He had just ruled out the last of his options when along came the moose. And the moose performed Rule 73 brilliantly, rescuing your owner from perilous situations. Good job, Moose. Or Marcel, I should say. All was forgiven, and perhaps, Wilfred admitted, he'd never really owned the moose anyway. With that in mind, he and the moose reached a compromise. The moose would agree to all of Wilfred's rules whenever it suited him. Uh-oh. "Dominic, you're back, and you brought me an apple." Uh-oh. Somebody else thinks he owns the moose. The end. Did you like that story? It was kind of silly, wasn't it? Because I don't think anybody can really own a moose unless it's like a toy moose. This is actually my puppy Presley's moose, so I had to give him another toy so he would let me borrow this. So I hope you enjoyed Shadow Puppet Theater today. And we just are so happy we can get together this way. So until next time, keep a smile on your face and a story and a song in your heart. Bye-bye.